And that's the basic idea. I will go more into the actions I want each character to have in a future episode, but this week I focused on just setting up this base system. I started this Unity project by creating a grid of hexagons. This will be the area combat takes place in the game. I used Unity's tilemap renderer for the visual, and I made some scripts to base the movement logic off of with the help of ChatGPT. I'm not going to use these scripts in the future, just making sure everything looks okay. I also made a character who is just a white circle for now, and I made it so you can click on a tile and the character moves there. As I now had something visual to see, I began creating the logic for a round. I started by creating the action selection part of the round, as that is the first part. I initially had it where if I had character A, character B, and character C, I would select character A's card, press confirm, then select character B's card, press confirm, and then select character C's action. However, I didn't like the fact that the player might not have thought about character C action when they were choosing character A's action. So, I thought about how I could address that situation. I knew I didn't want to have a system of taking back what you chose after pressing confirm, so I changed the structure to where you select all of the character's actions before pressing confirm, and you can press the right and left arrow keys to go from character to character. This is a great example of making sure my foundation is built well and will not cause me problems in the future. I feel like often when I'm designing how something works in games, if it works well enough to be playable, I usually go with it and tell myself that I can update it in the future if I really am having a problem with it. However, I've been trying to avoid that mentality and making sure that I'm not creating problems for my future self to solve. So, to summarize, I created a working select system where the round manager I have waits for the character actions to be inputted before continuing to the movement and effect part of the round. And that's where I stopped. I want to acknowledge that not enough progress was made this week for this game to be what I want it to be after a month, but I'm going to blame a large part of that on the fact that I was out of town this weekend, which is also why this upload was a little late. However, I did do some structuring of the code to prepare for the creating of the movement and effect part of the round, so I'm hoping that I can be really efficient this week, and by the end of the week, I'll hopefully have the ability to play a version of the game with zero art and none of the actions implemented properly. But if it has the overall structure of a round completed, I'll be pretty happy. And that's the end of this week. I appreciate you guys for watching and for anybody that stayed around, and I'll see you next week.